Wanna talk? So let's talk. Yeah. Talk. You wanna talk? You gotta talk, you need to talk. News talk.
I talk, you talk to Solomon. I talk, you talk to Solomon. Yeah, let's talk to Solomon. Talk to Solomon.
You gotta talk.
Welcome, my friends, on this, the opening night of the National Communist Convention. Did I get that right? The Democrat National Convention.
It's too soft.
Okay. And we are delighted to have with us a wonderful, bright, brilliant, beautiful, gorgeous, both inside and outside lady who is running for Congress. Her name is Jessica Bradshaw. She's running in the great state of Texas in the 34th Congressional District. Jessica, how are you?
I'm fine, Stan. I'm fine, and it's good to see you both, the chief and you, and to be back on the show. And you start me out cracking up. The National Communist Convention, huh?
By the way, Greg Howard is also with us. I know you know Greg.
Oh, is
Greg,
he?
Greg, say hey.
Oh, hi, Greg.
At any rate, I'd like you to tell all of our viewers why Jessica Bradshaw, and whether or not they're from that particular congressional district. We've all learned the hard way that every single member of the United States House and every single member of the United States Senate can be the vote that saves us or screws us. Why Jessica Bradshaw is the person that they should be supporting however they can?
Because Jessica is the candidate who is going to, who if elected, will look at the constitutionality of any bill that it goes, through her desk, looking out for the American people, the citizens of this nation, regardless of whatever influence, negative influence may come from either party. We have had way too many career politicians who are willing to compromise and give up, their ethics and their morals in order to benefit themselves or a special interest, and that's just not the person that I am. I'm ready. We need representation that will be here for the people. Now,
what is your website?
It's TexansForJessica.com, and that's TEXANSFOR, and then Jessica.com.
Texansforjessica.com, and people can go there and read of your positions. They can make contributions. They can volunteer their time, whatever it is that they want to do. And by the way, folks, in today's day of Facebook and Twitter, everyone can help no matter where you are in the country. Now, Greg, you've known Jessica for a while. Chime in here, please.
Well, I think Jessica would be a fantastic congressperson. I'm kind of the old school. I have a little trouble saying anything but congressman, but I think Jessica would do a wonderful job, and I'll tell you why. Because we've known Jessica for, 3 years now, and we've known her to be absolutely consistent in her beliefs. We know that she is a patriot. We know that she values freedom above everything else, and she will not be the kind to fall over to special party interests, and that she really walks the walk that she talks.
Chief?
From this show, I've grown to know Jessica, and I know that Jessica is one of we the people. When she goes to Congress, she's going to represent we the people and not anybody else. That's what we need there right now.
Now, Steve and I were talking off the air, and I want to throw this out for the panel. Jessica, starting with you. I do not believe that Mitt Romney walks on water. I don't believe he's perfect on every issue. I don't believe that he will do everything I want him to do. And I don't believe he will respond to every request that I or the other people on the right make of him. But more than anything else, he's not Barack Obama. I believe that we should, all of us, work as hard as we can to get every conservative, every moderate, every person that is to the left of to the right of their leftist opponent in, and then be on them like white on rice. Jessica, your thoughts?
You're absolutely right. We have to be on them like white on rice. The problem, or what has gotten us into the problem that we're in, is that many of us, whether Democrat or Republican, we would get our man or woman in office and then say, oh, they've got it covered. We can go back to our lives and our busy schedule individuals, and they'll take care of us. And then they're unwatched, and then we wonder why they've gone astray, or why they're cheating on their wives and doing all of these things that we thought they would never do. And any candidate needs to be, who becomes an elected official, needs to be watched especially by their own party, because it is usually within their party that they feel, oh, well, you know what, they're going to trust me. We have the same letter after our names, and so I can get away with things. And other candidates, I've actually heard another candidate who is also running for Congress say that, if elected, they will be a supporter of everything Mitt Romney. And I think that's also the wrong attitude to take, because no, as a congressperson, you are there to support your constituency, your district, the needs of your district, and then of course the American people, not a president or an agenda from whatever side of the aisle that they may come from. I mean, we have to remain independent.
Greg?
Well, that's the whole problem, is that we have no statesmen in our Congress for the most part. It is all about how much they can bring home out of the public trough back to their districts, or how much they can put in their bank accounts. Over and over, we hear these stories of what is going on in terms of insider trading with the Congress, or what is going on in terms of trading on advance information of government contracts. I think it's about time that we start doing a full and thorough cleaning of the Congress, and people like Jessica, a mom, a real estate person, just a person who one day about 2.5 years ago got totally fed up and said, I'm going to run for Congress. It didn't work the first time, but she was a novice at the time. Not that her ideas were bad or anything was wrong at the time, but she was not prepared for how dirty and sick a campaign could be. This time, she comes into it more prepared and stronger as a person in terms of how she can deal with it. Her ideas are still the same. It's time to go in there and be a statesman. It's time to go in there and care more about America than yourself, more about America than your district, and more about the future than the present people all with their hands out seeing how much they can get out of the government today.
Jessica Bradshaw is running in Texas. Jessica was born in Mexico. She came to this country legally, or her parents did. She is an American by choice. I think that is a critical component of what makes her what makes her a person that we're all supporting. But Jessica, let's talk about immigration, illegal and legal. Your thoughts?
Immigration it's critical to our area here. I mean, at least the fact that it hasn't been resolved has had a lot of negative impact to our area. One, because at the national level, we're seen as an area that is dangerous, and we may be getting shot at left and right, and immigrants may be committing crimes, and that may be the case. That may be the case in some respects, but overall, they have, there is a lot of economic impact, both positive and negative. And we have had a situation right now with the current president who's essentially thrown a bone at immigrants and said, you know what, I may fix it, or through executive order, here's this modified DREAM Act. Well, individuals here and elsewhere throughout the district, I've noticed, are tired of that. It has not been a comprehensive immigration reform plan put out by the Republican Party or the Democrat Party, for that matter. And it's something that, if it does not get resolved as quickly as possible, will affect our economy in the long run. We spend a lot of money educating, and in some cases feeding and housing illegal immigrants, hospitalizing them. I mean, you name it, run the gamut. And our Americans here need help, and people who are here illegally need to go through a system that is fair and legal, so that we can move on and start really taking care of our own the way that we should, in the way that they expected, in the way that they deserve, through job creation, education and training. I mean, it just goes on and on. It really is a big issue here, and it's something that cannot be covered in 10, 15 minutes. But I think that, myself as a candidate, I have a unique perspective because, one, I've been through the process legally. I've also experienced and have met others who've done it illegally and understand why they did it the way they did. But I understand that, with breaking the law come some penalties and rules and laws that we have to abide by. What are those, and what is an efficient way of going about getting it done?
Now, let me ask you a couple of basic issues. We all know where you stand as between Greg and Chief and I, but everyone viewing does not know. Your position on the sanctity of life?
100% pro-life. It must be respected, and we have to. We have become a society that does not respect the unborn, and it's gotten us into a lot of trouble.
There are those who believe that if a woman is, and Todd Aiken used the term legitimate, which is a poor choice of words, but if a woman is forcibly raped, if a woman suffers a traumatic, any sex without your permission, someone would say is traumatic, but forcible rape, where you're physically attacked and physically forced, and we know that happens, and we know that a woman can in fact get pregnant from that kind of a situation. In that case, is there any, in your mind, and here we may differ from our presidential candidate, Mitt Romney, in your mind, is there any reason that the child who resulted from that rape should be killed as somehow justified by the fact that there was a rape?
I don't think so. I've subscribed to the idea that in all cases the life should be preserved. There have been numerous studies done where women who were raped and had become pregnant, then had an abortion, and they suffered what they personally described as almost a second rape. These are their words, not mine. And there are women who wish that they had not undergone the abortion. There's a woman who I met personally who was raped forcibly, had her child, now 23 years old, and says, I would have never, I'm so glad I didn't, because nothing could replace this child, and the positive that came of the child outweighs the negative. Now, here's where I say, where I stand and why I draw the line, is we have a situation where abortion literally has become a drive-through process. Just like you drive through for a hamburger, abortion has become very drive-through. And in an instance, let's say there is a woman who has been raped, there is special counseling that should be happening. And perhaps, and more than just one evening, one night, or one day with a psychologist or a social worker. Women are counseled all the time when they are going to undergo plastic surgery. Yet for rape or for an abortion, it's come on in, I'll talk to you for 20 minutes, sign the paperwork, there's the rape, there's the abortion, there you go. And we have done no justice, and I think that women in many cases who have been raped, if they were to undergo special counseling and speak to maybe a spiritual leader or someone that they trust, a professional or otherwise a doctor, I think that many of them, they might change their minds.
Well, the reality is no one who is for abortion is not yet born. The only people for abortion are those who are already safely born. And so I agree with your position. Chief, you want to make a comment here?
Sure. Well, the Aiken comment really has no further place to be used at all, because if a woman is not pregnant as a result of a rape, there's no discussion about the abortion. But I think the most important thing in all these discussions is that they're theoretical. And what we have to do as pro-lifers is bring more realism into these discussions. For example, you say the word rape and the word abortion. Well, rape is very traumatic and very, oh my gosh, and we have to get rid of rape, so let's just get rid of this whole thing. We start talking about babies and killing babies rather than having abortions, and talk about real human beings that are being destroyed, I think will make a much better impact than just having theoretical discussions about some baby on a piece of paper that we're getting rid of, when it's really a real live human being we're destroying.
Right.
Greg?
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing anything, and unfortunately, no one's paying attention to my messages. I've only heard about 1/3 of what's going on.
I apologize. I'm not quite sure why that's happening, but we're talking about if a child is conceived in a traumatic, forcible rape. Jessica said her position is that child should not be murdered, justified by the fact that the father of that child is a scumbag.
Well, like Dr. Keyes so beautifully put it the last time, the fact that a child may have been conceived as a result of a crime, a horrible crime, I think rape ranks there just behind murder. Murder is the one thing that cannot be called back and from which there is no healing. Rape, I don't know, never experienced a rape. I have known a few that have, and the healing is very slow, if ever. But I don't think that one should visit the penalty upon the innocent child. That is not anything that would fall into line with any form of Christian thinking, nor in any scheme of even moral or ethical thinking. We pride ourselves on being an ethical society. The atheists, they tell us that we don't need a Bible to tell us how to be moral and ethical people. Well, then explain to me the morals and the ethics about terminating the life of someone who did no wrong other than simply by becoming into existence as the result of someone else's wrong.
But of course, atheists, who in my opinion are the lowest on the intellectual ladder, although they think themselves the highest, they're actually idiots, and I pity them because they're mentally deficient in every and all important ways. And I get on Twitter all the time. In fact, you've counseled me, Greg, to ignore atheists because they ask their pithy questions and say, why would you be upset that we question something that doesn't exist? And the answer is, as mosquitoes must be sprayed and shooed away, atheists have lower intellect than mosquitoes. But let's ignore that because we're talking about Jessica Bradshaw's campaign. Jessica, let's talk about firearms. We just talked about a story where a 92-year-old man sitting in his own home at 3 o'clock in the morning was up, heard people breaking into his home through the lower level, positioned himself with his loaded rifle where he could see the top of the stairs, and when the first one stepped out, he shot him and killed him. And the rest decided they didn't want to come out, and they just took their dead friend and left, and then the police caught them. And to me, it's only a shame all three of them didn't come out, so he could have killed all of them. But he's not being prosecuted, but there's some who think he should be. There's some who think we need to be victims and let government punish those who victimize us rather than keep ourselves from being victims. That's really what it comes down to. Your thoughts?
I do not agree with that one bit. I'm sorry, the government was not meant to be my babysitter or anyone else's babysitter for that matter. And people who subscribe to that belief are people who are just plain lazy and they don't want to take any sort of responsibility upon their own hands. Now, back in the days when the Bill of Rights was written out, there wasn't a police force and a task force, and they didn't have that, and so they knew they had to protect themselves independently of government. And so, I don't think that the founders ever foresaw that we would, okay, now let's get rid of the Second Amendment because now we were a civilized society and we have police here to take care of us. Americans need to understand that a police department they are contracted out to keep an area safe. They're not contracted out to protect us. They're there to keep it safe. And if sometimes things fall, through the cracks, and we have individuals breaking into our homes, it is our moral duty to protect ourselves and our family. I really truly believe that a God in heaven, if he was standing there watching the whole thing play out, would never cast out the person trying to protect himself or his family against evil. And I literally break it down to that very basic level.
Chief?
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Finish, Jessica. Finish. I'm sorry.
I'm a proponent of the Second Amendment and from now on forever.
All right, Chief.
No, and again, Jessica's right on the money, and vote for Jessica if you have the ability down in Texas. But
Or support her, send money.
send money wherever you are. Absolutely. But I think there's more than just a Second Amendment to this story. It's bigger than that, because the people that are chastising this man for supporting his Second Amendment rights, they want to have guns taken away because they want government in control. And as long as American people are allowed to own guns, they can never really ever take us over. So that's part of it's a big picture. It's bigger than just Second Amendment rights.
Yes.
Greg?
It's very simple. The police do a wonderful job to the extent they can. But they were never intended to be the first responder to every crime. We have always had that as our moral and first right, is to defend ourselves. Our laws throughout history, until some nutcase judges started getting hold of things, just in the latter half of the 20th century, have always held that it was our unalienable right to defend ourselves when our immediate lives or personal safety was in danger. We have to retain that right. So you are still your first responder. A bullet travels from my gun 960 feet per second. The fastest police car in this area can barely make it 120 miles per hour. I am going to still defend myself, call 911, and let the police do the investigating and finding the ones that got away. And second of all, Chief is absolutely right. The only reason they want to take away guns from the law-abiding citizens is so they can either have the chaos they need in order to declare martial law and clamp down, or to have an unarmed citizenry, which is always much more easy to control.
Jessica, we have a constitution that was amended before it was ratified with 10 rights. These rights are not rights that come from government. There are many in government that don't understand that. The Constitution is a constraint on government. It created and constrained government. It didn't create or constrain the citizens. Even having done that, the founders decided they needed to make it absolutely clear that certain inalienable rights, rights that came from God, were possessed by every sovereign citizen, and that government could not, had no strength, no power, no ability, no right to in any way affect those rights. Those rights were, the term was inviolate. In fact, at one time, there was a preamble to the Bill of Rights, which has since been taken off. Do you say to our people, do you swear to the people listening to this show, to those who would support and vote for you, that you will stand for and defend those inviolate rights and not in any way, shape, or form agree with anything that government might come up with that would presume that these rights were controllable by government?
Absolutely. I pledge to that 100%. This is why I'm running, because I saw my rights and the rights of others, they're being taken away every day. Every time legislation passes that we don't, there may be legislation passing that we're not bothering to read, and our Congress, our representative isn't bothering to let us know about, that slowly is taking each and every right away, and all in the sometimes in the name of safety and security, as Benjamin Franklin said. And I say, enough of that. And really, the only way that the government can take our rights away, besides the legislation, is if we allow them to, because they know, it knows as an entity that these are rights given by God, but it'll coerce us and confuse us and make us believe and make us be willing participants in basically giving them away. And that's what we're doing as Americans. When we are too busy to read in the news or get informed, we are willing participants in this theft.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Jessica Bradshaw. She's a candidate for Congress. She's the Republican nominee, having won 2, not 1 race already. And this will be the 3rd and final one where she actually goes to represent Texas's 34th Congressional District. Greg W. Howard is with us. Police Chief Steve Davis, former Police Chief Steve Davis, and me, Stan Solomon, all back shortly, so stay with us. Do you like being healthy? I do. In fact, this product, which I've been taking for years now, is absolutely the answer. Now, you may not believe it, but I'm actually 21, plus tax, of course. This product has 146 different healthful nutrients in it, and it's liquid, so it's bioavailable. It tastes great, and it's sugar-free. 1 ounce of Sonic Life each day will help you to maintain and enhance your health. It's the kind of a gift, well, that you'll thank your mom for, your husband for, your wife for, your kids for. Whoever you give it to, they're going to say thank you. And you are going to enjoy the benefits of having all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the nutrients your body needs in one very reasonably priced product. Just go to cpnlive.com and everything's right there. You'll be able to read all the ingredients. The price is right there, a flat price delivered to your door anywhere in the United States of America. Sonic Life is a gift, a great gift. Give it to yourself. I do. Let me ask you a question. Do you like being sick? I have in my hand an incredible product. It's called TR10 Supercolloidal Silver. TR10 stands for a trace to the negative 10th power. The particles in this silver product are 6 to 8 angstroms, 6 to 8 10 billionths of a meter. Now listen to me. Silver has been the magic bullet for all of human existence. The Egyptians used silver instruments. We use silverware. They put silver in your teeth because nothing can grow on silver. Silver will kill anything but liberalism. I'm working on that. This product, you go to cpnlive.com, buy 1 quart of this product. It will last you for a very long time. Anytime you feel like you've been exposed to something bad, take some of this product, spray it in your mouth, or take a little bit and gargle it, swallow it. It will kill any pathogen. The average antibiotic kills 10 to 20 different pathogens. This product will kill 700 plus. Do yourself a favor, do your family a favor, do your doctor a favor. He's tired of seeing you. Get Supercolloidal Silver. Go to cpnlive.com, order the product. It's $29.95 plus shipping. I think it's $39.95 delivered any place in America right to your door. It's worth 10 times that. Check it out. If you're not 100% happy, just return it and we'll give you your money back. I like to eat. Do you like to eat? We all do. And usually we run to the grocery store, we run to the convenience store, or we have something in the fridge. But power's been out in parts of this country in the last few weeks. We don't know what's going to come down the pike economically. Smart people are putting in food. Alpine Air Gourmet Reserves is a line of foods that you can put away that will last for a very long time. You know, they say eat what you store and store what you eat. This is great tasting stuff, healthy for you, a full line. You go to our website, cpnlive.com, and click on the button for Alpine Air Gourmet Reserves and see all the different things we have. This is good tasting food. It's reasonably priced. It will last. And it's worth its weight in gold if a problem arises. I know you don't think there's going to be anything that goes wrong. Actually, you do. This is smart. This is smart insurance. This is smart preparation. This is smart thinking. You have kids, you have a spouse, you have parents, you have dependents, you have an appetite. All those things can be addressed by a frugal but smart investment in Alpine Air Gourmet Reserves. Try them out. You will be tickled to death with the taste of them. You know what? In many cases, people start to eat this and they think, heck, this tastes better and costs less than what you're going to the grocery store to buy. cpnlive.com, check it out. You have a computer, if you're alive today, which means you have a hard drive, which means it's going to break down. Mosey, the backup people, for thousands, for Stan, for thousands of people, for tens of thousands of people, is simply common sense. You go to cpnlive.com, click on the icon for Mosey, the backup people, and sign up. It's just a few dollars a month. Let me tell you something. We had a break-in. They stole our whole computer. You know what? When they take the computer, you can't recover anything, but we had Mosey. We had the backup. We were able to restore everything simply by buying another computer. cpnlive.com, click on the icon for Mosey, the backup people, and give yourself common sense, peace of mind, great value, the best thing you've ever done. Sooner or later, it's going to be Mosey, the backup people.